Good morning, students. In the lecture of role development, we are going to discuss. This is the last lecture, block and district level planning. Okay, now the G is determining an optimal mix of the development projects. After having prepared various reports of development projects, next step in the area planning is to determine an optimal mix or the combination of various projects to attain the objectives of the main of the area plan under the given conditions of resource availability and various technical, economical, institutional and social constraints. So what is the meaning of this sentence? It means that whenever you go for the actual implementation, at that time you have to find out the mix or the combination of these policies in such a way that we should implement it in such a way that all the resources are available, we can use it very economically as well as technically, and it also should be helpful to solve all the constraints that are coming across. The second one is a number of quantitative techniques are now available for planning at macro and macro level. But all the planning techniques, linear programming method is the most powerful and flexible method used for the planning. Now, when there are number of various techniques which can be used for the micro and macro level planning, but this method, which is linear programming method, it is the most important because it is the flexible method, and with this help of this method, we can very easily implement or run the project very effectively. The third one is a multi-period linear programming model is used to determine the optimal mix of the various projects for an area, a block, a district, or a watershed. The next is this method was used for a set of 5 years agricultural development plans for a small watershed in the hills of Uttarakhand. That means this method was used for the agricultural, which we call as Panchvarshik Yojana. In that, small watershed in the hill areas of Uttarakhand were implemented, whose objectives function was to maximize the aggregate returns over the variable cost for the watershed, subject to various constraints. This model included 72 activities and 47 constructs. That means overall 72 activities are involved in this model in the Uttarakhand, out of which 47 constraints were found. Remember one thing, once we are able to find out the constraints, that means the hurdles which are coming across our implementation of the policy or implementation of our project. At that time, it becomes very easier to solve these constraints or overcome these hurdles. To sum up, we can say that this model is a powerful and highly flexible tool for formulating multi-pronged integrated development plans at both the micro and macro levels. This can be implemented in the both micro as well as the micro levels. It is hoped that within the introduction of computers at the district level, preparation of household cluster blocks and district plans can be facilitated. However, a computer cannot substitute for the trained and experienced rural development planners who are scarce resource at present in India. Now see here, today it is a technical world, so if we visit any rural area, we can see number of computers have been using there, but this will be helpful to implementation of our project or implementation of our policy. But the main thing is the persons who are having experience in this implementation are most important rather than these computers, because well experienced planner cannot be substituted by any type of computers, and these persons are on count, are in such a less account that we can count them on our fingers. Next is institutional structure for planning. All the at the institutional level, before launching of Niti Aayog by our Prime Minister in January 2015, the Planning Commission was responsible for the formulation of India's 5-year plan. Before Niti Aayog, 5-year plan commission was there before this Modi's government. At that time, the Planning Commission was capable or responsible for formulation of all types of 5-year plans. After that, the Niti Aayog was introduced, and nowadays this Niti Aayog decides and formulates all the types of 5-year plans and the steps which are to be followed to the effective implementation of these policies and programs. Their appraisal and allocation of resources to various centrally sponsored schemes and state governments. So allocation of the resources can be used centrally as well as they can be used sponsored by schemes of the state government as well as the central government. The Planning Commission had formulated 12 5-year plans during its existence. The fifth, now see here all of you, पंचवार्षिक योजना जी आपण म्हणतो ती एकूण 12 पंचवार्षिक योजना होती. त्याचं प्लॅनिंग कमिशनने 12च्या 12 त्यांनी स्वतः एक्झिस्ट असताना त्यांनी ते सगळं प्लॅनिंग करून फॉर्म्युलेट केलेलं आहे. आणि आता काय आहे आपलं अवतार नीती आयोग म्हणून आहे, हे फास्टर आहे इन्व्हॉल्वमेंट आणि पार्टिसिपेशन. स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटचं इन्व्हॉल्वमेंट इथं जास्त दिसत असल्या कारणामुळं याचं स्पीड जास्त आहे आणि एकदम रूट लेवलला जाऊन त्यांचे काम करायची पद्धत असल्यामुळे टॉप टू डाऊन आणि डाऊन टू टॉप अशा पद्धतीने काम असल्यामुळं नीती आयोग जो आहे तो अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं लोकांना चान्सेस देतात, इकॉनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट मध्ये दिसून येत आहे. आणि राज्य सरकार असतील किंवा जे युनियन टेरिटरीज भारताचे आपले असतील ते सगळे यात इन्व्हॉल्व्ह होऊन अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीने नीती आयोगाच्या अस्तित्वामुळे आपल्या रुरल डेव्हलपमेंट किंवा आपले जे ग्रामीण भाग आहेत त्यांच्या डेव्हलपमेंटसाठी अतिशय उपयोगी हे ठरत आहेत. At the state level, many state governments have constituted state planning commissions or state planning boards for formulating state 5-year plans. An SDC or state development committee headed by the chief minister is responsible for directing and coordinating the development programs within the states. Now see here, Niti Aayog is the central government team. It gives us what to do, when to do and how to do to actually implement these projects in our states. But the state government, what it has done, on its own, it has just developed the planning commission which will formulate all the plans of our states only for our restricted states accordingly. Not only that, the state development committee headed by the chief minister is also responsible for directing and coordinating the development programs within the states. At the district level, statutory Jilla Parishads are responsible for planning, implementing development programs in the districts. The Jilla Parishad is chaired by elected non-official and the DDO of is the CEO of Jilla Parishad. Now at district level, what happens is Jilla Parishad is taken or it is totally responsible for all types of planning and implementing the programs in their own districts. It is chaired by, that means the headed person is non-official and he is the DDO. And who is this DDO? He is nothing but the CEO of the Jilla Parishad. At the block level, the statutory block Parishad and the Jilla Parishad Samiti or block Panchayat Samiti chaired by an elected non-official overseer to various development programs in the block. Now at the block level, what happens is the statutory block Parishad or the Samiti, what it does is the elected person or the elected non-official overseers, these persons come there and help in the development of the program. Now the BDOs or the block development officers is nothing but the BDO or the block development officer is the secretary of the block Samiti and is responsible for the implementation of various development programs. So BDO plays a very, very important role in the development of our rural areas. At the village level, a Gram Sevak or Gram Sevika is responsible for implementation of the development program within the cluster of the villages. What happens is Gram Sevak has been already appointed in each and every villages, as well as Gram Sevika is also there as per their necessity, and these persons are actually using or actually implementing all the policies or all the programs in their areas. All the works are controlled by the BDO with the establishment of Panchayat Raj in all the states. The village of the Gram Panchayat headed by the elected non-official is responsible for implementing this program within its jurisdiction. The village worker or the village level worker assigned to the Panchayat acts as its secretary. So whole and soul, the elected non-official person is responsible for implementation of all the projects as well as the policies given by the central as well as the state government. And this is totally transferred to the Zilla Parishad. The Zilla Parishad asks this person who is known as BDO or the non-elected or the elected official to implement this program very effectively for the development of the rural area. So the students of TY Civil, I am here telling you that all the syllabus or the curriculum that is related to the rural development comes to end here. Now you can very easily refer all these lectures given by me, as well as you can come to the college as per your convenience and collect the notes if possible. Thank you very much.